So I've been thinking about this. I feel like since Shohei Ohtani's firing his interpreter, I feel like I should get that job because I can do that. Just he says Dodgers Angels under 9.5. Like 100%. It's not the interpreter, right? Like who is going to extend an interpreter $4.5 million in line of credit? So either he's either doesn't matter. Doesn't matter. Something that does matter is the Minnesota Vikings offensive line and what's going to happen at that left guard spot. And Dalton Risner, come on up for the Risner. Risner was interesting because he was basically the first player I can remember that social media was able to bully a team into signing. That's what the Vikings did. As Risner, the former Denver Bronco, former Kansas State Wildcat, now we want Cooper Beebe. Was brought aboard the Vikings last year for a 1-year, $3 million deal. Played well throughout most of the season after taking over starting for Ezra Cleveland after he got traded to the Jaguars. And Risner is a free agent again, and PFF estimated his market value at $5.5 million per year, which I feel like is fair. And Risner took to social media and is talking about, I'm not trying to break the bank. I'm just trying to get a starting guard salary. All right, and so far, nada. Darren Duggie-Wolfson reported that no offer on the table for Risner, and Risner says he has at least one option. We haven't seen that. No reports of meetings, no reports of interest. So it's very similar to last offseason where Risner just sort of floated out there, and it was very odd as the draft approaches and teams still not calling. It's interesting. It's weird, man. But what happened for the Vikings this offseason is that they did take care of one of their own in Blake Brandel, the former 2020 sixth-round pick out of the Oregon State University, who has played well as a backup. He has versatility, can play four spots, both tackle and guard spots. Remember, he signed a 3-year, $9.5 million deal with half of that guaranteed. We said that was very odd because Brandel has been a career backup up until this point of his career, but that's not backup money. Like his $3.166 million average would be the 34th highest paid guard in the league. And also it's more than what Risner was paid last year, a 1-year, $3 million deal. So we said at the time, I don't think that the Vikings see Brandel as a backup. Or at minimum, he's a tier 1 backup, but that is not a backup contract. Like that is some legit money. And also the fact that it's 3 years says a lot, where most times backups are 1-year deals, sometimes 2, like in the case of Chris Reed 2 years ago. But 3 years, I understand, like basically he's just ceding control over to the team, but also the team wants to keep him under control for 3 seasons. So that does say a lot as well. And then, long story longer, getting into what Ben Gessling, Star Tribune, said on KFan yesterday. From Purple Persuasion, quote, the money they gave Brandel, specifically the years, just said that, did make me wonder if he's going to get the chance to start. The fact that they gave him a 3-year deal, that's not something you do just because you have to. I don't think his market would have been that hot. I do think there's a chance that he will get an opportunity to compete for that spot. So the fact that ipso facto, the Vikings only have one spot open by process of elimination, that means that Dalton Risner's left guard spot. Now, Brandel, throughout his career, has 39 games played, 5 starts, 503 snaps. Last season, he had 2 starts, played in 3 games, allowed 8 pressures and 1 sack, all at right guard, and 63.8 PFF run blocking grade. Does have versatility, which is great. He hasn't played in the regular season at left guard, but did have a very good preseason game last season against Seattle at left guard. So that's something that could have stuck in the back of the mind of Kwesi as well as Chris Cooper and company there. So I do think that Blake Brandel is going to start. Also, I love that we got Dan Feeney. Feeney. Just there chilling. Oh, I guess we could take Oli Udoh off this list too, as he signed somewhere else. There you go. But with Risner, so Risner, eyeball test, he looked good, right? But analytics-wise, PFF, so 50.0 PFF run blocking grade, which was 104th out of 135 qualifying guards, and also allowed 30 pressures, but 0 goose egg, D'Angelo Russell sacks. So it's a spot where maybe the offensive line room, maybe Chris Cooper and company, maybe they think that Brandel can develop into something, and maybe they think that Risner is good, but don't let good be the enemy of great, or that they'll have him back, except it's going to be on the Vikings term and at the Vikings price. And the fact that Risner is still just out there chilling yet again in free agency, even though the fact that he was very good in the locker room, even though the fact that he was very good in the media, I don't know. But I think this is a spot where, hey, just because you were a low draft pick, just because you were a career backup, doesn't mean that you can't rise up in the right situation. I mean, look at Josh Metellus last year, and could Blake Brandel be this year's version of that? Certainly a possibility. But your thoughts are thoughts. Will the Vikings start Blake Brandel and not sign Dalton Risner? Question mark. Let us know your thoughts and our thoughts in the comment section below. Subscribe for daily Vikings takes. Want to support the work? Put a little something in the Venmo. But till next time, Skol, production value.